Well, Astralis pick up Inferno, and quite the game as well. We had plenty of show-stopping moments, and we do have two showstoppers joining us as well. It's Chad Burchill and Henry Greer. Who calls you Henry Greer? I feel like you're always just Henry G.
Yeah, it is.
How have you managed to elude the second name?
I don't know. Calling myself Henry G was a good start.
Kind of solves your problems, doesn't it? Yeah. So actually, talking of problems, Fnatic, that was neck and neck, and in terms of momentum, that game felt like it was going a lot closer than it perhaps looks on the scoreboard.
Yeah, absolutely. It did kick off with Astralis on the CT side, looking very strong. They managed to get that 4-0 start. Out of nowhere, though, Fnatic, so strong, so tenacious in those gun rounds. It's like we were talking about it in the green room, saying that Inferno has always been such a classic map for their play style, the way they approach the game, the way they can go around using the individual skill. But they met their match today. Dupree looking very good, Dev having a great game. It was a really fun game to watch. That's exactly what we were hoping it lived up to be.
Yeah, the mid-rounds for Fnatic are something to really... I guess I'm in awe the way that I look at it, because even when they lose the entry frag, they still take space and they still make the rounds either costly, they get the bomb down, or they're pulling like these crazy clutches out of nowhere. Sure, they didn't get a lot of rounds in that first half. When you flicked on over, it was actually the heroes with the players you wouldn't really expect. Glaive?
Yes.
Glaive?
That's 2 on 4.
Look at this right now.
It's quite nice.
The run boost over the Molotov. This is a bit awkward from Golden, though. I mean, the fact that he's not reacting to this, not taking a fight at any point, just gives that way in. Glaive, spectacular. I love this little boost as well. Whoa, what a round.
A lot done in that round, yeah. And that's how you want to use it. You want to keep that all moving around, want to give it as many opportunities to make those picks and be as difficult to weed out as possible. In fact, they did that on a save round. Well, CZs, but these things happen.
And it is those tiniest margins. Sorry, Hank. It's just, I thought it was so crazy that JW died peeking middle. So the AWP was lying there dormant. Crims did actively try and shoot it away. And if he could have taken it just a little further towards quad, wide enough that he couldn't pick it up safely, that wouldn't have ever
I just wanted to know as well, Fnatic had their fair share of luck as well, with some of their full eco victories as well. Those silent USP on the B bomb side was unbelievable. I thought it was one of those rounds where they'll get a couple of kills, they'll get them to 1v1, then they'll lose. But somehow they got like 3 kills at the silent USP. The boots were coming in, denying the plans, applying the pressure. It was so much fun to just watch that game and see Crims turning up as ever, looking very good. Lekra and his Deagle looking quite formidable as well. Device, though, certainly gets the MVP. Like, what a game that was. A classic Inferno performance from him. The AWP was out on both halves.
That CT dynamic AWP, you sound like a broken record when you talk about it, but it is so noteworthy.
Well, he pulled them out of a couple of holes, right? Because they were on the precipice of having their economy broken throughout that first half. Those mid-rounds that I'm talking about, where Fnatic is able to do a lot of damage. They're able to get it down to 1v2s. They're able to plant those bombs. It meant that the pressure was on Astralis' economy basically throughout that game. And then when trades were made, when entries were made onto bomb sites, Fnatic were looking hot. Deva steps up. He's moving very well with that AWP, finding the kills in transition, and that's something that's not easy to do, especially on a map like Inferno.
Yes, indeed. And I mean, you know, losing the pistol from Astralis, we thought we were going to have a full game. Second round comes in. I mean, we just got to see chaos in the Counter-Strike world, and not only in the world, but in this match as well. Now, we're moving into Overpass.
Yes.
Any kind of initial reads when you see Overpass between Fnatic and Astralis?
Just because Astralis, the fact that Dev is turning up like that, this is actually his stomping ground. This is where I think he does his best AWPing in general. It really suits that dynamic AWP style, right? Every single round on the CT side, he can be B, short, middle, connector, long, fountain. He can go wherever he wants, and it didn't really seem like JW was putting up much of a fight for him today. So hopefully that's where we see more of Device come into his own, because that's why I'd really like to watch him play, being dynamic and being aggressive, and Overpass lends itself. They
are going to need that though, because earlier on we had Astralis losing to AGO on Overpass, right?
That is true.
That is a bit of a problem right there. The fact of the matter is their CT side was pretty weak in that matchup, and the guys from AGO were able to put a lot of rounds on the board with their T sides. Now, this could have come down to one of those things where maybe they didn't do their homework on AGO, they didn't consider them too much of a threat, maybe they weren't prepped, they're just going to play their own game plan. I think coming in against Fnatic, it's going to be a different story. And this hasn't been, over a long period of time, a good Fnatic map, right? Obviously, they've had the ebbs and flows, but this newer roster is something they hadn't dabbled with for too long. We've seen them obviously playing a lot more of it recently.
Yeah, sure.
But maybe, you know, those kinks could still be there to be worked out.
So with that being a topic of discussion, Astralis struggling versus AGO, I think the last question we'll have, and it's a bit likely to be more of a discussion than an answer, is just Astralis made it very clear, and to us and to the public, that they were trying to get out of this predictable element of gameplay. Like, as in, they're good, but you know what they're going to do. They were trying to throw in more of those curveballs, more of those Fnatic-esque rounds. Did you get any of that in Inferno?
I'm not so sure. Like, that's like a project that will take some time to build up. It's like Glaive did bring that initially when he first joined the roster. He kind of broke them out of the mold of being stuck in their strategies. If you remember back to their major victory, just the round that makes they won was on train, and they just stopped all the tactics, stopped all the messing around of the defaults. They went for a really hard-hitting approach. That's how they won the major. And it was really iconic at the time to say, wow, he actually found the call that Karrigan couldn't before, and he managed to step them up. So I think like with Magis coming in, we're going to see more Lusa play. I think they have got more firepower slightly with him. I think Magis can be a better player than Kiabi. He looked quite stale in Astralis towards the end. So hopefully that will come into the forefront.
There are a lot of cogs that go into this wheel to make this a possibility in Counter-Strike, right? There's so many things.
Sorry, just because...
Cogs don't really go in a wheel.
No. But how does playing loose and casual take a lot of work? I mean,
because
it almost sounds like a oxymoron.
There's so many things that go into Counter-Strike, right? You've obviously got the chemistry, the teamwork, having good communication, and then on top of that you have your individual moves, then you have the team-based moves, then you have team-based strategies, then you have all the set pieces, and then you have, you know, playing your contingency plans, you've got your rotations, how are we going to react in a 4v5, what are our go-tos? You need to have all these things in place. Now, to make sure that it's harder to read, you need to constantly continue to reinvent all of these things and keep adding something new always, because you can always pull out a new gimmick, you can always pull out a new strategy, you always have a new way to react. Someone has a little individual move they've done in FPL or ESCA Rank S that they want to bring out on their own, and that can change things. That comes up to every single player in the team, the coaching staff, everybody, to constantly stay on top of these things and to do your theory. The boring sit down, you know, have the chairs around a PC, Mr. Glaive or Zonic, the coach, they're sitting there, they're pointing out things, making sure that everyone understands how to react in all scenarios. It's not as simple as, we just want to be random. You know, that's not how Counter-Strike is ever going to work. Or, well, it has worked like that before. Let's hope it never goes back to those dark days. I don't like it.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Okay, so if chaos is not easily manufactured, I guess that's what we're going to be saying. Astralis are going to be working on that, and I think we'll keep our eyes on it coming into Overpass. Will we get to see a bit of flourish from Device? Will he be able to do something that he otherwise would have had the kind of the leash attached to him? Do we get to see a bit more free, fluid, flowing movement?
I think, you know, Magic's made his name being very aggressive towards A with the toilets, pushing up to Fountain, pushing up to that bench. He was doing that before. You saw it from Fur, who now does it as a staple. The difference is, Magix was a newer player at the time, right, towards the top, and he had the same moves. This is a thing that I've seen with players like JW. He's a good example. Obviously, he's on the other side of things. Magix is one, Config's one, JKS is one of those players who they have their routines and they work. As soon as they get looked at and they get countered, that's when they come into strife. I think Magix has grown a lot as a player since then, so him and Device, they can have a lot more random or aggressive moves over towards this A section of the map. And you're right, it is something that they're going to have to look out for if you're Fnatic.
And if you are Fnatic, what are the chances, Henry? I know we kind of been converted to the Fnatic camp.
Sure.
Will you give us a kind of will you give us a win condition from Fnatic? What changes it for
I
them?
feel like just being able to shut down David, like we said, he had too much going on in that initial map there. If they can work out, I think he's like, it might sound crazy to say he's kind of predictable. You know he's going to be aggressive at the start, right? They're very good at working the connector, especially. Watch out for the frags towards B. I want to see more set pieces from Fnatic as well. I'd like to see them go for the full-on executes towards B. But overall, I think this would be another classic map for these two. They seem so equally matched right now in terms of the firepower, and with David turning up tonight, could be another exciting finish here.
Exciting finish there. That's the call from Hanky G, and we're going to go ahead and take a little stroll now over to the casting desk with my compadre. Chairs are awkward. There we go. Right, so the guys at the casting desk are saying that we haven't got the Astralis. You know, you're talking about mixing a bit more spice into their gameplay. Not there yet. Is that you share that opinion?
I agree. I don't think, you know, it's that obvious, but you can tell that they're trying at the very least. With some of the moves they're going for, they realize that one of the flaws with the old lineup was they're too fundamental. So in that sense, it was predictable. You know, Astralis is going to make the move that makes the most sense, right? And you wonder, like, wait, isn't that supposed to be a good thing? It is, but nothing is good when people can count on it that you're going to do it.
I do find that quite funny that it's got to the point now where it's predictable aggression. It's no longer surprising that Device is peeking as Monster and joining Party or whatever it is. Let's get into this one.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Fnatic starting on the CT side. This is not one of their best maps, really, and we know Astralis. Historically, Overpass is where they've had tremendous amounts of success. You can see it seems like a fast push towards the B bomb side. They're going to have some action early.
Flusher with the double. Magisk responds in kind. Now, level numbers, if just for a moment, Flusher's going to get himself 3, and he hasn't lost a single point of health. That is madness. Look at this round. We're talking about chaos. It does seem like they're going to go through through B into A. Flusher and Crim's ready to receive.
They know it, but they're not going to be there in time, and Astralis can set up. This is an awkward plan, so it's a bit more difficult to set up in a post-plan situation, but they definitely have the advantage here. Flusher does have a kit.
Oh, he does have a kit, but all that's going to do is just extend the time that they can have these duels. Dupree's losing this one quite dramatically, but he responds with the headshot eventually. Now, down to Crims. That kit's loose. He could retrieve it. Time's still ticking away, and they can just toy with him now. Playing with their food, he has to hunt them down. They can just go loop-de-loop, and that's the end of that. Dupree with a spectacular pistol round. It was 2 from him. Excuse me, 3 now. With that final frag, we just got 2.
Yeah, it was pretty wild, you know, crashing each other in that water area towards short, and a great call on the fly from Astralis, realizing the play from Fnatic, you know, collapsing from connector towards that area, that the road to A is probably unrestricted, and that was the case. Got the bomb down and played it great in the afterplan situation.
See how this one plays out and unfolds. This is where Fnatic can do some of their best work with these pistols, but not if Dupree's charging at you and you're eating flashbangs like that. This round's over before it even began. Any chance they had was with Lekr, and he did get the double kill with the Deagle. I'm not even surprised, not even raising my voice when Lekr's doing things like that with a Deagle. Crims, though, he's going to give it a shot before that smoke does plume, and that almost, as his vision is obscured, is certain to see the second for Astralis. He's just going to have to expose himself. Does get out relatively unscathed, if not for Glaive spotting him. And that will be it. 2-0.
Another very good round for Astralis, right? Focusing on that B bomb site early on, a bit more aggressive. Good use of utility, mulling out barrels, throwing that one smoke to eliminate some of the angles, and just committing, right? You can see how, you know, the players entering, coming in first rather, they know we just need to push, we just need to create more space, and the guys behind us are going to get the kills, get the trades. Lekr got 2 great shots with the Deagle, and it still wasn't nearly enough to give Fnatic a chance in that round.
And that's what we talk about when we talk about space. I would find it really interesting and hard to quantify, but that's a perfect example. Device, he's getting frags with a Mac-10 on long. It may not make sense when you say it, but it certainly does when you watch it. 4-3 then. Flusher, Lekr, and JW just left with scraps. A Deagle, P250, just a USP for JW. And we should have a third for Astralis. It's just a matter of time. A little sharp. Smokes do rain out. He's not expecting JW's position. The likelihood is he'll check it as he crosses, though. No. Oh, JW, you dog! He tries to get the knife. Signature JW there.
Greedy.
It was a little. He had a back presented to him, and they couldn't stop. His finger just automatically.
Well, you know how awkward it can get with that USP shooting someone in the back.
Yeah.
He was like, with a knife, I get a certain kill, but in the end, Dupree does check it, and JW looking a bit silly.
You can see that just watching, kind of, he sees the back. He's like, it was quick, so quick. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for him.
I like how he immediately falls back to get some range on the knife.
Yeah, I like it. An attempt from JW. He got 2 knife kills in the game I casted yesterday with Space Soldiers. And now, I think we're going to get to see a bit of the other side of JW aggression. Go straight into connector, and it does seem like he's not going to have a partner in crime here. Typically, see players hold this with a crossfire established, but Magic, look at that, trying to make that bonus Mac-10 work. It does not. Flusher laughing at him as Device just narrowly escapes those CTs as that smoke clears out. Lekr tagged, but not fragged. Instead, he's the one to do the fragging. Xyp9x and Device, however, making this difficult. 3 versus 3, but they've lost a lot of health. Glaive, Xyp9x in trouble. And that's their healthy member eliminated. JW emerging from his connector hidey hole. And now just Glaive and Xyp9x. They've got no health. They've got no hope. The bomb is in the hands of Xyp9x, and Glaive could catch Crimza overextending here. Wow! His rotate has not only bore fruit, but that's going to make this a 2v2. If, and okay, I can stop with the ifs now. Xyp9x does narrowly get away with that one. He only had 8 points of health. This is when Counter-Strike gets interesting. You're in a 2v2, it's like a different game all of a sudden.
Yeah, and then on such a large map as Overpass, you know, so many positions you can take, so many avenues you can take, and that's why that wasn't necessarily a terrible play from Crims, you know. He thought he has the timing to stop the flank, to stop something like this happening, but he died and it became complicated for a second, but that kill really removes all doubt for Fnatic. But as I say that, Glaive picks up the bomb, and now he can fall back. No utility on him though, so Golden can catch him cross.
And that Molotov is a big stop sign. He's like, well, okay, last second plan.
I can't make it. There's no gaps.
No health, no hope. He's not going to be able to get across either unless Golden not actively holding that. He's going to give them a free plant. And will that be the round over? Golden's going to pre-fire the corner, but oh well, look, you know, you got something out of it at least.
Well, they couldn't know for sure if he was actually rotating or just waiting it out in toilets or something. Concede the plant, but more importantly, they win a round. So for Astralis, though, mission accomplished. Tons of money on their side. Fnatic in reset territory. And this is where you want to see something from Fnatic. Something like a cool move that they have, or a setup, or some sort of a risk. You don't want to see them just play some sort of a default style and lose such an important round. These rounds are the most important ones in the game, and this is where you make your best plays, or at least go for them.
Okay, well, let's see if there is anything different. A little bit curveball thrown out, like the scene is now set. How important this one is for Fnatic. JW nearly caught out there. He's going to be able to get himself into the safety of the toilet area. And 3 players of Astralis are just stomping through Connector, clearing it out, and now blink and you miss it. After showing face at toilets, there's 5 players descending on you on towards B. Astralis, so scary. Look at that. All of a sudden, in about a matter of 5 seconds, the bomb's going down and the entirety of the enemy squad is on a bomb site. That's terrifying.
That actually made me moist.
Yeah,
I'll get into it a bit later.
Talk about it in a second.
Fnatic is still going for it, at least it looks like it. Or I think Flush is just going to try and get a better gun and maybe go and save. Problem is, even with the save, it's not going to be ideal in the next round. Still going towards that.
Yeah, dupree's going to be closing this one out. It's looking for his quad kill now, as JW is going to be getting out of there, trying to maintain his M4 and Kevlar. But this is where I have to ask you, Yenko. That was sexy Counter-Strike,
yeah,
right?
that was like very exciting. We were talking about you need to go for some move where, well, Astralis went for it. You could see how utility was flying over, the smokes were flying over as 3 players were pushing for control. The CTs that were spotting had to fall back. They gave the call that forced a rotate from Flusha towards A, and what did they do? They just ran down Connector and went into a B bomb, and I'm sure those guys on B were completely caught off guard by the pace and by the amount of bodies coming their way. That definitely wasn't expected, and that was just a brilliant execute from Astralis.
And their reset. This is the Astralis playbook, isn't it? That bonus round that they have, they got what, 2v2 and got the bomb down. No complaints from Astralis. Now they've reset them. They're on scouts and they can just apply pressure in a different way.
Yeah, and a big problem that Astralis had for the last, I don't know, a couple of months, 6 months, even more than that, was pistol rounds. They wouldn't win that many pistol rounds, and you know, it's much easier for you when you do a round like this and it's your opponent who is going to get reset rather than doing it to save your own ass, right?
Sure.
So it could have been a different setup from Fnatic and the round might not have panned out, but it was a great read, and now they're in a great position to take full control of this first half.
Nearly got a bit of a grey screen there. dupreeh trying to check that JW corner. He's not going to fall for the same trick twice. Lecro's doing the dance, and dupreeh shuts him down.
But as this round also looks to be pretty straightforward from Astralis, it's also, you know, why do you go for that 3v4 in the previous round if you're Fnatic? Round is lost. I think it's like pretty obvious.
Like it's a 90%
why
chance
not just go?
failure.
Yeah, why not just go for the save? You can drop a CZ or a UMP to your teammates because you're going to get 1400. Sure. They're going to get 1400, so they can't buy, you know, even a pistol and only armor. So you drop them a pistol at least, so they can buy utility, and you still have full utility. So you're in a situation where you have
a better shot.
2 M4s, an AK, 2 pistols, but everyone has nades. That's winnable on the CT side. You get a good read with early aggression, 5v4, have the CZs play close on B maybe, and rifles on A to defend. And all of a sudden, that's a winnable round, and you're not out of it. Instead, you go for a 10% chance at best of winning a 3v4 in that situation, and now you're forced to play with a FAMAS and 4 pistols. You lose that. Pasha bought Kevlar again. That has to be a misclick or something. He's not going to do anything magic by himself when his teammates have no armor and 4 USPs.
He could even just meet that MP7. Magis could find him. It looks like, well, what can you say about that one? You buy Kevlar, you're dying to an SMG headshot. That is a real sour situation for Flusha. The rest of his unarmored teammates are not long for this world either. Woof. Deleted.
And I mean, okay, so you could see his intention. Good spawn, take the CZ, Kevlar, so I don't get blasted away, and aim punch. I can get 1 kill, 1 for 1, maybe get lucky, escape with the gun. But you're basically trying to win the round 1v5. 4 of your teammates have USPs only, no flashes, no nothing. And now he plays with a UMP. I mean, alright, it's doable. especially for Flasha, but still, I think you should focus on these gun rounds. Look at their bites. Horrible, and Astralis is rushing B.
Yeah, here they come. And when you say rushing, there is always a bit more structure to it than your classic rush B in your matchmaking game. But here they come. They just do emerge, and Flusher's actually going to be emerging from that smoke. Look at this. Backs a turn. It's going to be a double kill from Flusher, and he might even get away. No, Device was there to pick up the pieces.
1:30 on the clock, Alex. Round's over. 25 seconds. All it took for Astralis to win yet another gun round.
That's crazy.
7-1 up, playing against, well, Crim's just tilt bot.
Where's their money? Why is their money?
Crim's just tilt bot, a Deagle, full armor, full nades.
What?
So you see, that's just Astralis again realizing the buy is gonna be bad. They're not going to have incendiaries, maybe smokes, M4s. And that's a situation in which it's perfectly viable to rush B, and they did it great. Yes, there was a molly for barrels and a flash, but that was pretty much it.
I'd like a YouTube video of money management with this whole map so far, Yanko.
It's just terrible. I mean, you can see, this is why. It's always like, why are you buying it?
Because they do that
Something like almost worse. Like, he should have probably gotten both kills. Flusha comes with the second trade.
There you go. Look, this is why.
Crims gets it with the Deagle. Of course, they're in a 4v2 now from a terrible buy, at least for Crims. I mean, the rest were on a half buy. And somehow they make it happen.
Like Golden actually had to go back to spawn to buy a CZ. He was like, okay, I guess I better contribute.
And I think this round also is a good example, as Zipix dies as well, of what we see in online Counter-Strike that we probably wouldn't in like a LAN environment or something like that. Astralis 7-1 up, a bit complacent, not as methodical as we saw in some of the rounds with their use of utility. They get picked off by pistols. So,
but this is, I think this is the positive reinforcement that we don't see, right? They win rounds like that, and then suddenly they're like, well, I could buy it, I can afford it. Why can't I do it again?
Yeah, I agree. We'll see what happens in this round, because you know you can't count on winning those rounds all the time. Just crappy rounds. We can see Crims, he's definitely eager to make plays, and that's a massive shot on Device.
That's filthy. An AWP staring you down, and you're pushed up on Fountain. He had the bomb as well. Man, single-handedly just making things uncomfortable for Astralis there. Device is going to be, that's a desk to fist moment there.
Ooh, that's a meaty nade.
Jesus, where did the health go? 80 points of damage distributed evenly to two members, Glaive and Zipnix, and oh, JW! Oh, a slight orky Momo, squeaky bum time, but he gets out of that one with his USP. This is Counter-Strike. This is manic.
This is Fnatic Counter-Strike. Fnatic CS at its finest. You can see how he hesitated because of the railing, and that to me is
silly.
Why is this in the game? Like, he should be able to like shoot, yeah, he should be through that and a guaranteed kill, but he had to wait for him to pass the rail and misses his shot. 3v3 situation. Chaos everywhere. Astralis is aware of it. That's why they just called stop. Just cut noise and let's see if they're going to push somewhere else. Maybe they have someone flanking us. And this is the fear to an extent that Fnatic puts in you, right? You can see they're at T spawn and they have to walk around. Okay, now they realize we don't have time for this. We need to risk it, and Magis falls down to Flasha. Alekri in a great position to shut this one down.
And he will. That's going to be one in a second. Not quite as easy. Zipnix, though, has just lost all of his HP. He hasn't got the time to be playing games. Golden's going to be able to stop this plant before it even goes down. Golden, buddy. It's like 20 bullets before he makes the realization. Like, yep, definitely no one here. I think that's 4-3.
No, that was funny. I think it was just Flash coming in. He turned, so when he peeked after the flash, he just went for the default spot because the smoke was there.
So many bullets.
Didn't even bother looking at this. But yeah, that's
look at that.
See, like, doesn't even see it.
Oh, there he is. Hi. That's funny.
They waited with the defuse so they can go back and pick up the op for JW, save a bit of extra cash there. So another chaotic round. They avoid the reset, but as you can see, Astralis has money for days. They have them for 2 more buy rounds even after this. So Fnatic have
after
to
losing
keep it
2
up.
rounds in a row, that's I guess that's good economy management.
Tells you how clean their round wins were before.
That's true. And here comes Magist now. First blood drawn. Astralis, they haven't had that in a while. First taste in about 4 rounds where they've got the first and opening frag. of the round. Lekro tagged up down to 47 as well. That's just Zipnix rattling off bullets through Monster. Golden's in a very aggressive position. He's actually on top of the box on site. Astralis have not made any commitments yet. Notice the bomb's positioning.
Fnatic, though, making a good play, good movement. You know, leaving JW alone, sending 3 players towards B in case Astralis commits early. I thought they were actually going to pop flash again, try to clear water, maybe, but it's very difficult because of the off angles. You can see where Dupree is. Very difficult to clear that spot if you can't molly him out first. He moved now. He was in that little corner.
Yeah, that's a scary one. You can nade it. And talking of nades, Dupree's going to be getting the majority of his over towards B. You can see a second flash. His teammates are smoking it. The Molotovs are coming in. Is this a fake?
Fake, yes.
They are trying to draw the CTs, and here they come, right on cue. JW on the rotate, but immediately his friends call it. That's nothing, no follow-up. Get your ass back onto the site, and he does do that. Unable to hit the shot, though. Glaive now going wide. Pressure starting to mount. He's already lost his teammate. Crim's down. JW has had no opportunities. This is madness from Astralis. JW even worked it out. He solved the riddle, and Golden's not out of this just yet. I'll stop talking because he's tagged up Glaive and got another frag. Golden nearly gets another. Zipnix down to just a fraction of health left to JW. He's only got the AWP. He needs that rifle, and he grabs it. Pushing in now. Zipnix reveals his location, but he's going to get traded by Device. Help me understand that, Yanko, but just 2 seconds of rotate from JW left that whole site naked.
Yeah, and honestly, that's a mistake from him because it's a fast rotate and it can be a fake. So you, as the last player on the site, you need to stay a couple of extra seconds longer, really. And that movement allowed just enough time for Astralis to get into the site, get the entry kills, plant the bomb. Madras a bit overly aggressive in that 4v2, giving his life away, but it wasn't detrimental for the squad. And a great call from Astralis. You know, in a 4v5, they have to make that rotate. Really allows you to capitalize on it and get an easy plant.
That's what we refer to when we're talking about, you know, exploiting your numbers. Perfect example. Astralis are giving us many examples of when we talk about good Counter-Strike at the moment. JW training his AWP towards that long peak. Device is going to oblige, and oh, you have to hit those. That would have been perfect. Instead, JW actually knocked down to 18 points of health. Device just with the AK tagged him up. And talking of that, no one's going to expect Device to have walked this far up long. JW's just going to, Crim's just going to have his ass out. But with his pants around his ankles, there's a perfect smoke coming in as he merges. Wow, Astralis are looking fantastic here.
And that's just a great play from Device based off of sound, right? He heard players running or like moving towards toilets, so he figured, okay, they're maybe gambling towards this. I can't go for this. You know, most of my players are towards toilets anyway, and basically just wins the round for his team with that little move.
That was lovely. Flushed down, but he's not going to let that M4 leave his cold, dead hands until, well, they can take it from him. There we go. Does lose his life to Device through the box, the wall.
And this is what troubles you with Fnatic at times. You could see, like, with that buy from Crims that worked, you can tell things are not great. You know, you can tell that the call wasn't to buy. It's not like he bought an M4 or had more money or bought an AWP or something. He bought a Deagle and all nades. You know, if he just bought Deagle and Kevlar, it would have still been fine. You know, that's the same money that his teammates had. So that's, you see this is another force buy. What's going on here? I mean, at this point, maybe you're thinking, there's no way we can win, you know, 10 rounds on our T side. Let's try and force maybe like with a 9-6, if we get lucky and a pistol round, we can make it competitive. But again,
they've won one of these rounds so far in Overpass, and this time Golden's going to take a leaf out of Flush's book. An aggressive pit push towards that tunnel. And talking of tunnels, Monster, he's getting some action. Those T's are just flooding in, and Lekro, very predictable position on that ramp. If you don't start the aggression at the right time, you will be deleted. Glaive does meet his demise, and that's an AK in the hands of Fnatic. Zipnix has got a good read on where the rest of the CTs are, and there the nades just start raining in, locking them out of any quick trades. Crim's just lost a lot of his health. I think it was Zipnix that hit him. But they've made it a 3v3.
Yeah, but
do get 2 AKs as well.
Astralis has all the positional advantage, you know. JW going for that long rotate, but that's going to be time consuming as well.
And Dupree's waiting for him. They've got no health. They've got these AKs. Perhaps you want to start saving, and yet it does look like that's going to be the call. JW, however, is on the prowl, and Dupree's can get a little bit of a whiff. The Wonder Child, and that won't last long either. One of those AKs potentially could have been saved is now on the floor. And Golden just starts to Scarper. Get the hell out of there, keep that Kevlar.
And again, in a round where Astralis knows that their opponents are probably going to eco, even if they force, it's just going to be pistols. Let's not get picked apart one by one. Group up, go together, use the numbers. They got the trades. Once Glaive died, even though he died, didn't get a kill, he still got the info. So you can tell, okay, what they were trying to do is collapse on water with CZs. Those two guys are from A. You got 2 kills on B. And then even if it's a 3v3, you have all the information, all the advantage.
Crims with that preserved AK, JW's gone for an armored scout.
Golden bought everything. Lekro is eco with just Eagle. This is mass. This is all over the place.
Are we watching this Fnatic of... The Fnatic of Inferno, admittedly, were making similar gambles. This feels like a whole lot more of them here on an Overpass. Pushing in, though, Golden with his CZ is gonna... Oh, I hate life. That's 3. Golden, he's gonna get 4. Single-handedly gonna bring this round home. He's looking for all 5, but Device does deny. That is filth. That is another clip to put in the CZ Google Drive you'll be sending to Valve.
So stupid.
With $1,500, this man has completely disemboweled a fully bought up T-side.
And they've been
one and done. One and done, they say.
He's the one that forced when the rest of the team, you know, was on the same guns or at least equal. And again, they win the round.
That's just... 2 of the 4 rounds they've won were with pistol force buys.
Just tells you really that you should always have your gun out until you clear the site in a wild game as this.
It's mad, isn't it?
We see Crims again with an aggressive move towards middle.
Yeah, this is really fun. I love it when you see a CT get this pushed up, and fortunately for him, Device...
He's not going to be happy about that one.
Just too damn smart. JW's been tagged up with that AWP as well. He's a huge integral part of the Fnatic machine, and when they start to try and play gun rounds, it just doesn't seem to work out. Fnatic, a lot of their success is coming from those kooky pistol buys. And you know what's kind of blowing my mind is there's been a lot of like crazy clips from Fnatic. We've seen the on Inferno Overpass as well, that golden clip we just witnessed. And yet every time Astralis are just unfazed and tend to win the next round. Like as in that they just
because their way of playing is more consistent, right? Like that's the problem we had with the Fnatic of old, and where this new Fnatic has, you can see that they're working on it. It's not as bad as it used to be. They can win a game, right? They could have won this map, for example. If they won pistol and then, you know, they lose a gun round, but they win the next one, reset, then they win one of these pistol rounds, and all of a sudden it's not an 11-4, it's maybe a 9-6 for them, and then win the second pistol, and think, oh yeah, Fnatic beat the Astralis and Overpass, great, but when you look at the fashion in which they're playing these both teams, you can tell who is the more favorite team, yeah, and who is the better team, really.
And that's, of course, this round from JW, look at this. Like, one of the rounds they won was Crims pushing up Fountain, killing Device Orc versus M4.
Deagle, actually.
Oh, was it a Deagle?
Yeah.
Good grief. Then you had JW pushed into Playground on the CT side, catching a T on rotation. That was one of the 4. Another one was Golden with 3k CZ. I mean, it's mad. It's just complete madness. Consistency from Dupree, though. Good grief, that ADR on the half. 130, nearly 140. And now this should be quick and easy if their pistol goes their way.
I agree, and as I said, I mean, for Fnatic, it's no surprise that they're losing this map. That's what you would expect, but it's just you see some of the things happening. You can tell things are not, you know, 100% all right, that they're not as composed maybe, so I think that's what bothers you more than just the score itself.
However, they're on a death ball. That Glock train has got all the fuel it needs, and choo-choo into toilets. 3, 4... all stacked up and going to be trying to go crazy with that 20 bullet clip, and well, never mind, Blade just takes one immediately out. Flusher didn't get to fire a single bullet, however he does recover that USP. He'll be looking to make that work and trying to boost himself up, and he does. Nice little strafe. Dupree about to be tested big time. He has to hit this quickly. Nope, that will be the end of him. Lekro takes him down, and 4 players all close to Device. They're going to start pushing him. He knows he doesn't have to move a muscle, but Lekro pulling that trigger so damn quick. Looking good. JW will get another just down to Magisk now in a 1 versus 3 on this pistol round. It's our second map. A huge lead from Astralis, but this is the first step of many for Fnatic if they want to get back into this one. Picks the corner, and Lekro gets another great round from Lekro. Doesn't matter what pistol it is, it seems. He just seems to make them work.
Yeah, absolutely. With some jumping shots and everything. You can see Fnatic just all over the place, running around, trying to figure out where Astralis was positioned. They get some good trades, and they actually commit. with the Glock train, get up close and personal with Astralis, and at that point they have the advantage, they close it out. Let's see if they can convert the anti-eco. Glaive dropping the scout for device.
Okay. This should be a clean, beautiful round of Counter-Strike from Fnatic. It's just going to be nice. 5 people dead, 5 people still standing.
Yeah, they started off well, you know, clearing connector with 2 players with good use of utility, waiting for a push on A, and just Lekro holding B. And now they have to keep moving as a unit and not get picked off.
Glaive's position does look like it could profit with a frag, but JW is so quick to move out. He doesn't want to go into the venture into the unknown, and JW looks to actually be returning to long. He knows Glaive's going to be having none of that. But 2 players in that connector from the CT side. They could be either going for that long flank. Looks like Dupree has set his sights on that, and whether or not he has time, it's up to Fnatic. They do seem rather spread out. Look at that map presence right now from them. They're everywhere.
Yeah, they're just waiting for Astralis to try and make a play. Again, expecting them, you know, to realize numbers down, eco, or a force buy. They need to make something happen. But the time is ticking down, so if you wait too long, you don't leave much room for yourself to rotate.
Lekro, what is he doing? Patient.
He must have played him.
That's the frag, upgrades his pistol. He did have an
20
AK.
seconds.
20 seconds, you're not wrong. Device, though, does take a big shot to the head. He's taken down, finished off by JW. Glaive now, 15 seconds. If he can stop that plant, he's not willing to take that risk. In fact, a spray through the smoke brings him down. That's Flusher, just being the casual counter-striker he is, and that will be the end of the round. Xyp9x is the last man standing. He's in bank. Backs up a little bit.
Hold your breath, Alex.
Okay.
Xyp9x.
It is Xyp9x.
Never count him out.
It's true. Doesn't have a kit, though, so I think time is going to be his worst enemy
He's
here.
going to save the scout. Always a sensible player, Xyp9x.
You know exactly what he's going to do. It's like, oh, I've got slight benefit in my economy here. I'll take that.
Also, you know, Flasher just holding that smoke no matter what. And that's a good play. That's him having the presence of mind. This is the one thing that could ruin us. If guy runs out with a CZ, kills me, my planter is low HP.
Right.
We won't have time to, you know, plant the bomb or something terrible could happen. So, great presence of mind from him. Small but an important play.
Yeah, that was enough, right? It was Glaive trying to be a ninja. Could have ended so badly.
Yeah, and we'll see. Fnatic, they dodge a bullet here, so now they will have an opportunity to play a proper gun round. Flusher just staying on a
Glock?
On a Glock.
An armored Glock. He's obviously...
Well, knowing that they're going to be on an eco, so he can just buy an AK in the next round or pick up a gun if some of his teammates is low. As we see JW get tagged by the scout, so maybe he's going to drop it to Flusher.
And we do see Astralis going for the triple boost. Take a look at that one. Yeah, you can get a good camera shot. They're just hanging out.
Gets tagged as well.
They have been tagged up. That's Device doing work with the scout. And maybe that's enough to force them into the stack. Oh, it could have been, but no, the bomb's on long and it's going to be breaking the stack as well. Looks like they're actually going to be moving as a unit. Oh, guys, actually, wait, I think I've done enough. I think they're coming to you.
I don't know if Xyp9x was in there, so they just wanted to let him roam. I'm not sure.
Mix it up a bit. Device. With that scout. He's done a great job of keeping them at bay. This is actually quite impressive. One man has kept the 5 players from Fnatic down for a moment. A nice shot from him. Another. 3 players are now super low. He gets the frag onto Crims as well. That saved scout from Xyp9x has started to make a lot of sense. Another frag, this time with a CZ. Another from Xyp9x. One scout and a pistol. Golden has to do a lot here, and he's done the first, but Device has done so much, and Astralis take the round. That is wonderful stuff. A saved scout is all it takes.
Absolutely, and again, you can see why does Astralis group up in their own rounds like this?
Jesus.
Exactly to avoid something like what just happened, you know, getting tagged by the scout, then not optimal use of utility when you're entering the A site. Not great timing either. And you just get continuously tagged by Device. Xyp9x with the CZ finishes some of them off, and the 2 of them got all 5 kills. So you can see why Xyp9x didn't go for it and save that one scout. You just want to play the percentages.
Yeah, and I think that's like it's a phrase we don't find ourselves saying very often, but it's so perfect for summarizing Astralis in their decision making.
Even if they just got like 2-3 kills and still lost the round, it still would have been a massive payoff for them.
Ooh, a tag from Device. Through the wall. Looked like it was a miss initially, but Crims takes a big boatload of damage. She's on 6 for 14. Crims has had such a good 2018 so far. This map, however, has been eluding him so far. Device again. Not only has he got the tag, he's now got a frag. Crims finished off the work. Device started earlier, but on the retreat, Golden, smart timing from him, just checks as he realizes the numbers are starting to coalesce. 4-4. And we are going to see Magisk find Flusher. JW considering a JW maneuver. You'd expect a flashbang from his teammates, but no! Look at that, comes in dry, and it will only be the 1-for-1. Shake of the head from Yanko. Skill maneuver not rewarded. Lekra, however, his solo mission on B has come up trump, and he is going to be potentially giving his team a chance, but just as I say that, look who it is. Xyp9x does the damage necessary. Magisk should win this one. He can even wallbang that corner if he wants to get the necessary damage done. He knows Golden's low, but Golden smart from him. Look at this, he knows exactly what's going on. Looking for the head, he takes it! Cerebral from Golden.
That was actually very well played from Golden at the very end, you know, in the 1v1. Not really sure why it came down to the 1v1. I don't know who died before Magisk, but should have just waited.
Xyp9x,
yeah, should have probably waited for Magisk to come, and, you know, they could have had him contained. A bit too keen in that situation. Xyp9x not really characteristic for him, but again, how does Fnatic win a round? JW pushes through a smoke on long, gets a 1-for-1 kill, then Lekro has a 1v1 fight somewhere on B because he's still lingering on B, wins that, gets traded, but then Golden gets to a fight where he shouldn't really get one, wins that, plants the bomb, and then, you know, takes a small gamble in a sense that the player is going to be heaven and guesses right and wins the round. It's just so awkward, and it is a style. It's not random, you know. It does make sense. You do something crazy on one side of the map so you can give your teammate a chance to get a duel, because it's so easy to rotate if you're in toilets to come to B, right? If Lakro wins that fight, smokes off, graffiti, then it's almost unobstructed entrance into B. But it's so risky, right? It's just, he has to win that duel, and JW has to get a kill running through the smoke.
So it basically so if we were giving these teams different names, it would be playing the percentages versus Risky Bisky. Let's have a little look if that biscuit is sweet. It looks like it's good for Lekro. No, not quite. They're going to keep the numbers, but that should be a rifle for Dupree. I think there's an M4 just at the other end of that smoke. Doesn't want to take that risk just yet. There we go. So now they have 2 M4s. They even got us 2 smokes if they want to keep these T's at bay. Admittedly not easy to smoke off this A-bomb site. And just taking their time here. Could be a finish on both A and B. Yanko was just talking about just how quick those rotates can be. It does look like they're starting to set their sights on that B bomb site, just where Dupree resides. He's got 1 flashbang to keep them at bay. No indicators given yet by Fnatic. JW pushing for information. Xyp9x is going to get a boatload of it. He knows that was the lurk, and now charging to provide some support. They are creeping and crawling. There's the Molotov. That's only going to confirm his suspicions. And now here we go. 25 seconds. Xyp9x dead, but Dupree yet to be found. Here's the digits being punched in. He will get the frag onto Golden. He would have loved the second. Only 15 of them left. And that will be the end of that one. A bit hasty there from Device.
Yeah, he felt he needed to try and make a play early, at least make it into a 1v1.
Sure.
And it was unlucky that both players were actually in the open, just waiting for some sort of a push. In that situation, and Fnatic, again, win the anti-force buy. Have some room to breathe. Playing against a full eco here from Astralis. Not even a scout in play, so surely they will convert this round as well. Something so strange about Fnatic and Overpass. Even in that grand finals in Katowice against FaZe, losing a 1v5 to Guardian and really collapsing after that in the first half, and then having a flawless T side basically in the second half to take Overpass from FaZe. That was the upset of that final that really allowed them to take the trophy. alongside the monster performance from Flusha on the last map.
Yeah, that helped. That was a real contributing
some
factor.
mad clutches did help. But even though they don't play it a lot, sometimes Fnatic, as showcased in that final, are just able to click on this map.
Just find that synergy. Oh, dupreeh lucky to be alive. He did get one, but this should be the 9th for Fnatic, and their chaotic counter-strike is being slowly but surely taking shape. Magic's in front of that smoke and doesn't manage to do too much with it, just those USPs. So 12-9.
And this is where Golden made them more potent, right? So those crappy plays are something that Fnatic did for ages, right?
Sure.
And we're bullying everyone in 2015 and all of that. But when those plays don't work, when your individuals get shut down, you have to change up things. And that's where Golden comes in, and that's where they got a bit more depth. And that's probably something you want to see them do now, because Astralis know how to play against this crappy style. You know, it's like there is a way to play against it. But if they throw an execute now their way or something, well, then all of a sudden it's much more difficult to get a read on them. Which style are they going to go for? And those are two very different, distinctive styles, and playing against them, it's also very two different ways.
Sure,
So,
and you don't know which one's coming.
exactly.
It's scary. Grims is going to get one. Device tried to transfer that spray and didn't work for him. Golden gets his 19th frag. He's top fragging for Fnatic right now. Not only leading, not only was he on the chopping block, but essentially being replaced by another Swedish star. He's now top of the scoreboard and trying to help Fnatic dig themselves out of this pit. So far, they've only conceded one round on the second half. dupreeh's looking to change that. However, JW knows exactly what's going down. Great free aim from him, and oof, should have been the round. JW had an opportunity to secure it with the frag onto dupreeh, but very quick on the trigger. The Dane catches him off guard on long. Quick reactions from him. I can't think of two players I'd rather have in a 2v2 than Xyp9x and dupreeh in their current state.
And a difficult call, you know, in this situation. Like, he can be anywhere on A, they can be 2B and then play for a retake on A. They might be pushing behind us, so let's just like go together and try and get the trade. Golden should probably be going in first because he has low HP. Lekr0 has higher chances of getting that trade. And dupreeh now hears the footsteps.
Xyp9x is on the rotate. That smoke's actually going to help dupreeh because he can do some damage through it. There, oh, it's an angle! The plant spot from Lekr0 was not optimal, and now with the bomb going down, Golden's just going to hope he can survive long enough. That's something. That's 800 if he loses for his teammates. He uses that smoke now to his advantage. A little bit of a temporary wall, but timing catches him off guard, and we do see the 13th come home from Astralis. That was... I mean, you painted a great picture there, because I couldn't quite appreciate just how awkward that would be from Fnatic. Because of the silence from Astralis, they were planting like as if they were going to be coming from toilets. That's how uncomfortable they were.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they still had two smokes. That was a mistake, that the smoke had a gap in it. So without that, I mean, he could have still gotten spammed easily through the smoke. But yeah, it was around. This was around that Fnatic really needed to win. They were in a 3v2 situation, and that's the mistake that they make, in a sense, that JW was in a position where he just loses a duel and there's no one there to get the trade. And that's what you don't want to happen when you have a numbers advantage.
Hard duel to lose as well. JW perfect pre-aim. dupreeh was very quick to flick, and talking of quick, this looks like it might be picking up the pace a little bit from Fnatic, at least initially. Flusha gets the first onto Glaive. Nice. Puts Crims back in his place now. A lot of flood of Swedes towards that party area. They do like to party, those Swedes. That's for sure. 1 for 1 again. Device might even get another one here. Great round so far from him. He's held toilets for as long as he possibly can before he meets Flusha in the dark alley. 2 for 2.
Another 2v2, Alex.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like for Fnatic, considering their track record on Overpass, this is great for them. I mean, constantly having these 3v2s, 2v2s, 3v2s. And again, what does it come down to? Lekr0 trying to find a fight on B and just loses a straight-up duel.
Flusha's miles away.
Flusha is in a 1v2. I mean, he can pick up the bomb, or...
Can he?
Can he? Yeah, dupreeh.
We'll see. I think
bit
if you know
too keen,
Astralis,
maybe.
you know dupreeh's not going to move a muscle from there. He was very happy doing his job, and the bomb can be retrieved safely. Fortunately for him, it is dropped just around that corner. dupreeh set himself up nicely for this one. 30 seconds, and so Flusha's choice has kind of been made for him. He is going to have to start to maneuver towards that B site. 18 seconds. He knows there's going to be a Dupree hiding in one of these corners, has to check it all. He hasn't got time to do so. This could be his shot, though, as he glances towards short. If the timing's good, Dupree's better. 14 for Astralis. Just 2 away now from that magic 16 and 6 points in the Pro League. Dallas becoming more and more realistic for Astralis.
Absolutely, and you could see why that round, the 3v2 round that Fnatic lost, was so important, right? Instead of riding that momentum and making the game even closer, they lose the round after, and now it's down to pistols and a couple of AKs. And that's the way Fnatic is going to win Overpass against Astralis, right? Keeping them reset, winning some of those crappy rounds, force buys, maybe pistols, right? Riding that momentum. In pure gun rounds, Astralis has the upper hand.
By quite a considerable margin from what we're learning about today, and looks like Astralis are going to try and finish this one quite quickly here, as the 2 Ts that charged in and now make it 3 are all going to be eliminated. It's just down to Crimson Golden on, well, Peanuts, a Desert Eagle and a CZ75. Not looking good.
Absolutely, and Astralis deciding to remove the unknowns from the equation and go for some aggression themselves. Pays off, seeing as how Fnatic doesn't even have equal weaponry. And Crim's now in an impossible situation.
Oh, I thought I was about to scream. Close to a double headshot from Crimson. It would have just been so perfect. That cast a curse. Unwinnable, bang, bang.
In an impossible situation.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was simple.
Maybe, yeah, exactly.
We'd see him getting that second 1D.
And the Undertaker theme tune starts playing.
So, last ditch effort from Fnatic. Pistols across the board. Crimson on Mac 10. And something happened.
And I'm going to assume that that's game. Is it?
Yes, server defaulting to Dust 2.
Who?
That
GoTV died.
GoTV. Because of the PC being dead, we had the good old ECA, I guess, delay on GoTV crashing. I don't know. I think it's safe to assume that Astralis did close this one out with a 16-9 scoreline. Good effort from Fnatic, but really some of the rounds you could tell that they didn't have a very good idea of what they were going to do, and I think they won more force buy rounds with pistols than actual gun rounds.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't that the same we could say, really, actually. Yeah, in the first half, you're right, it was like 2-2. 50% of the rounds they won in that first half.
Golden triple kill with a CZ, and then, you know, Crims with his antics towards mid, so a lot of gimmicky plays that have really worked out for them, but not enough to win the whole map.
Yeah, I'm actually receiving word that all GoTVs just died. That's a new one. That's a new one. All GoTVs died.
Everyone in the world, though.
I don't know. He just said all. Just all of ours.
Well, let's pretend it's
I mean,
it's all GoTVs in the whole world.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I don't know. I got excited because he said all. But anyway, thank you, Yenko. That was fun. I'm enjoying this.
Can I just set a rule before we start this segment?
What's up?
Can you not ask us about the last round because we didn't get to watch it?
That is fair, actually.
Okay, guys. So let's start this conversation. Last round of the half, of course, we did get to see.
Bloody hell.
That was a disappointing game, but quite exciting at the same time.
Yeah.
Purely the fact Fnatic looked so flat, but they did have some really crazy, exciting moments. The CZ is back, Alex, and it's looking better than ever.
Where did it go?
I have to say.
Where did it go?
Tonight it wasn't as lit.
Oh, it wasn't as hot.
It was lit.
That game it was lit.
He single-handedly won him around with $1,500.
It was quite nice. It was pretty good.
That's my CZ impression.
That's pretty good.
I really enjoyed
I've seen you do some impressions before.
Yeah, I've got some good ones.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll ever see the light of day
No,
now.
I don't know. It wouldn't be
it's
appreciated by the
unfortunate.
general public, I don't think.
No,
I do a great travel department impression.
Oh, yes. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Anyway, I
Okay.
think that Astralis tactically outplayed Fnatic very well. And it wasn't just through having this the classic Astralis style of set executes. They're actually doing like really good mid-round misdirection. Lots of fakes coming in there. And the rounds seemed close. If you go through, you move your little mouse, you can see, oh, maybe 2v2 or 2v1, you know, not too many players alive, this, that, and the other. The thing is, Astralis had Fnatic on the ropes. They were guessing they had to take gambles. It was mid-round or mid-bomb site take where Fnatic were finding, you know, multi-kills. But it was too little too late by then. They're already in 2 on, you know, 5 scenarios. And at that point, even though maybe, you know, you're getting 3 kills, you're getting 2 kills, it doesn't matter. Astralis play out the number advantage very well.
Yeah, and round 18, like the sequence of events between round 17 and 18, I just love that. Like the fact that Zipnix was in a 1v2, decided to take the scout and save it, and then Device with the saved scout tags up everyone, kills 3 people. Zipnix finishes off the other 2. It's just like
there was a lot of hype that game.
Playing the percentages.
You have
That's
to
what
remember as well.
kept
Astralis started on the T side of Overpass, which is famously the least favoured, right? It's the one where you're kind of hoping to get 7, maybe 8 rounds if at a push. They managed to get 11-4, but still, it was not enough. We kept saying, like, we're watching that game, we thought, well, this looks like Astralis will run away with this one. It's going to be one of those games, but of course, Fnatic come back to life, and they did make it a competitive game in the end. It was quite exciting for at least the first few rounds.
And the double Ds were on show.
We knew it was going to happen, didn't we?
Yeah.
They were really out in full force tonight.
Well, it's great to see them when they're flourishing like this towards the top of the scoreboard. Everyone's eyes are on them. Hard to take them off.
Dude, Dupree had like 22 frags or something like at the start of the second half. It was madness. Absolutely incredible stuff from him and Device. But back to his usual ways. I mean, across both of these maps, that's one thing we've learned. Device is back to the ways of the AWP. And no, we're going to take a break because we've got more Counter-Strike for you. Don't panic. More to come. We get FaZe versus NIP coming up after the break. So don't you move a muscle. We'll be talking more about your favorite game after this.